A single call for baby formula changed her entire life. Joy never imagined that one wrong number would tie her to the most dangerous man she would ever meet and the only one who would ever truly love her. Joy Anderson was just 26, but life had already taught her how cruel the world could be. Her father had died when she was young, and her mother, the family's only pillar, now lay in a hospital bed battling an incurable disease. Joy worked double shifts and skipped meals so her younger sister could eat. The rent was overdue, the hospital bills kept piling up, and every time she looked at her mother's pale face, she felt herself breaking. When her mother's doctor mentioned a medical program that paid generously, Joy didn't ask too many questions. The offer was simple: a family wanted a surrogate mother who could also donate her eggs. The amount could save her mother and keep her sister fed for a year. Against every instinct, Joy signed the papers, convincing herself she was helping another family while saving her own. What Joy didn't know was that far away, a man named Lee Min-jun, a cold-eyed Korean Mafia heir, was also making a desperate choice. Outwardly feared, inwardly lonely, Min-jun had vowed never to marry, not when his enemies could use his family as bait. Yet, beneath the scars of his world, he longed for something pure, a child of his own. To confuse his enemies, he told them he was traveling to America for business. In truth, he was visiting a fertility clinic to seek a surrogate mother. Fate played its cruel trick there. The hospital, busy and careless, switched two patient files. Min-jun's sperm was mistakenly matched with Joy's name. And without knowing it, she was now carrying the child of a man she would meet only after everything fell apart. Months later, Joy gave birth to a baby girl, small, fragile, and beautiful. But when the intended American couple saw her brown-tinted skin and soft Asian eyes, their smiles faded. "She's not ours," they said coldly. There must have been a mistake. They walked away, leaving Joy trembling and speechless, holding the baby she had promised not to get attached to. Across the city, Lee Min-jun stood in the same hospital, staring down at another newborn, a baby the clinic claimed was his. But one glance told him otherwise. The baby was too pale, too fair, nothing like him. He ordered a DNA test, and when the results confirmed it wasn't his child, rage mixed with confusion. Somewhere out there, his real baby, his only chance at family, was lost. Meanwhile, Joy's reality was collapsing. She had no money, no family support, and now, a baby who wouldn't stop crying. Feeding her was a struggle, formula was expensive, and the baby fell sick often. Joy spent sleepless nights trying to calm her, whispering through tears, "Please, just stop crying, sweetheart. I'm doing my best." Meanwhile, Joy's reality was collapsing. She had no money, no family support, and now, a baby who wouldn't stop crying. Feeding her was a struggle, formula was expensive, and the baby fell sick often. Joy spent sleepless nights trying to calm her, whispering through tears, "Please, just stop crying, sweetheart. I'm doing my best." One exhausted night, she reached for her phone to call her best friend Clara, a pediatrician who always helped with advice and baby formula. Her hands shook as she dialed, tears blurring her vision. But in her exhaustion, she pressed the wrong contact. "Hello," the deep, accented voice answered. Joy sniffed. "Clara? Please, I need help. The baby won't eat. I've run out of formula and she's..." There was a pause. "Who is this?" Joy froze. "Wait, you're not Clara?" "No," the man replied slowly. "But you mentioned a baby?" Embarrassed and panicked, Joy hung up immediately. She didn't know that on the other end of the line, Lee Min-jun sat in stunned silence. The woman's trembling voice, the way she said the baby, triggered something deep inside him. For days, he had been searching for any leads about his real child. Could it be her? Driven by instinct, Min-jun traced the number and found the address. When he arrived at the rundown apartment, he expected confrontation, not the sight that greeted him. Joy stood barefoot by the door, holding a crying baby. Her face was tired, her eyes red, but the baby in her arms had his features, his hair, his eyes, his blood. Clara appeared moments later, and when her gaze landed on Min Jun, the color drained from her face. "Oh my God," she whispered. Joy frowned. "You know him?" Clara's lips trembled. "Joy, he's the donor. The one whose sample was used in your procedure. There was a mix-up at the clinic. It was supposed to be another man's, but..." Joy's knees nearly gave way. The baby in her arms, the one she'd cried over, sacrificed for, was his. The man standing before her, with the dangerous aura and unreadable eyes, was her child's biological father. For a long moment, silence filled the room. The baby's soft whimper was the only sound. Then Min Jun stepped closer, his voice low. "She's mine." Joy tightened her hold. "She's mine too," she said quietly. "I carried her, I fed her, I kept her alive when no one else wanted her." Something shifted in his gaze, anger melting into something else. Guilt. Wonder. Respect. In the following days, the truth unraveled fully. The clinic confessed their error, Clara faced disciplinary action, and Joy's story spread quietly through hospital halls. But what no one saw was what happened after. Min Jun began visiting Joy and the baby, bringing supplies, helping without a word. How his once cold demeanor softened every time the baby smiled at him. Joy tried to resist. She told herself it was temporary. That soon, he'd leave and she'd be alone again. But Min Jun kept showing up, fixing things around the house, learning how to hold a bottle, even pacing the room late at night when the baby cried. One night, as they both sat on the couch, the baby asleep between them, Joy whispered, "You don't have to keep coming here. You have a whole life out there." Min Jun looked at her, voice calm but sincere. "That life was empty. I came here looking for a child. I didn't know I'd find a reason to live." Her heart thudded painfully. "We don't fit in your world." He smiled faintly. "Then I'll build one where we do." Days turned into weeks, and slowly, a strange peace settled over them. Clara, seeking redemption, helped Joy apply for child support legally. But Min Jun didn't wait for the process, he took responsibility voluntarily. He made sure Joy's mother received better treatment, that her sister went back to school, and that Joy never had to choose between food and formula again. He never said it, but Joy could see it in his every action, the quiet devotion, the way his gaze lingered on her like she was something fragile he didn't want to lose. Months later, as spring bloomed, Joy found Min Jun sitting in the park with the baby, laughing softly as she tried to grab a butterfly. The sight filled Joy's heart with something she hadn't felt in years, warmth, safety, belonging. She sat beside him and said quietly, "You've changed." He looked at her. "Maybe I finally have something to live for." When the baby crawled into his lap and laughed, Joy smiled through tears. "She's lucky to have you." Min Jun shook his head. "No. I'm lucky she found me." He handed her an envelope. Inside was a new birth certificate. Joy's breath caught when she saw their names, both of them listed as parents. "You made it official," she whispered. He nodded. "She deserves to know where she belongs. And so do you." Joy stared at him, overwhelmed. "Why are you doing this?" "Because sometimes," he said softly, "the family you never planned for becomes the only one you need." That night, as they walked home, the baby sleeping peacefully between them, Joy realized the truth. The mistake that had once broken her had brought her the greatest gift of all. A home. A father for her child. A love she never expected. As they reached the door, Min Jun whispered, "You called me by mistake that night, but I think it was fate." Joy smiled, her hand brushing his. "Maybe some mistakes are meant to happen." The baby stirred, let out a small sigh, and smiled in her sleep. Joy looked at her little family and knew, deep down, that everything had finally fallen into place. Because love doesn't always arrive in perfect ways. Sometimes, it begins with a wrong number and ends with forever. If this story touched your heart, Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more emotional stories that remind us, even mistakes can lead to miracles.